Greetings YouTube, SEGA Zombie here and welcome back guys to another video. And yes, this weekend just gone I went to the London gaming market with my good friend Alex, Star Gamer, and you know, it's becoming a sort of regular thing now. You know, we go to all the London gaming markets pretty much, and unfortunately this time I didn't take, or I forgot to take the phone I use to do all my video when I'm out and about. So this video, unfortunately, there's no footage of me walking around the event. We done things different this time. Me and Al decided to get the early bird tickets because the last London Gaming Market, sort of towards the beginning of the year, they introduced a staggered ticket system, which I have to say this time round, they've implemented that really well. But the last London Gaming Market, that was a little bit of a gripe I had because it just seemed like it wasn't organised very well, and it was a bit of a mess. But this time, me and Al, we rocked up really early. The event had already opened. We turned up probably about 10:30, 11:15 time, and it meant we had to set off a lot early. And poor Al, bless him, had to get up at like 6 o'clock in the morning to get to me for about 8 a.m. And yeah, so it was an eventful start to the day, an early start. But when we got there, it was kind of weird because every gaming market in London we've been to thus far has always been ram-packed of people as you approach the hotel. There's usually queues that go around the hotel. There's people everywhere. But no, me and Al walked, and for a moment we questioned whether the event was on, because there was just no one around, and we walked straight in, which was lovely actually, straight into the event. And yeah, we saw lots of regular faces, guys. The usual culprits were there. Got to see Tutti UK, Daz, and someone that was doing their first London Gaming Market but does all the events is Rob Fob, who I talked about at Revival. Yeah, so it was great to catch up with them guys again. And, you know, I only saw Tootie and Daz, 3 weeks ago at Revival. So, you know, we had a good natter. I ended up buying some bits off Fob, Rob, and I bought a game off Tootie. So I'll show all those. Who else did we see at the event? There weren't as many YouTubers there this time that I know personally. Not to say there wasn't YouTubers there, but sort of like people I'm familiar with and that I know. There weren't many there. That could have been because of the heat. You know, we've had a really hot time. And to be quite honest, I must admit I was kind of dreading the fact of being ram-packed in the London Gaming Market with all that heat and all those particular smells. It's something I wasn't looking forward to, guys, if I'm being honest. But it was a lot cooler Sunday. And it wasn't too bad. It was actually really nice. The event wasn't overrammed with people. So, like I said, the staggered ticketing is working. It's working really well. And you could walk around and you didn't feel like you was ever in anyone's way. And you could get, with a little bit of patience, you do have to wait a little bit to get to the tables and the different stalls and to see all the stuff. What I'll try and do, guys, is I did manage on my normal phone, just my everyday phone, to take a few pictures, and if I can I will put those in and around the video as I'm talking, guys. So who else did we see at the event? We saw Coxie. He was stalling out with Ed Hunts. That was always great to catch up with them too. I speak to them at every London Gaming Market, and yeah, Ed Hunts, he had his regular there. He had his mystery bags, and I did buy a game off Ed. So who else did we see, guys? There was Alan. Alan's always there now. Some refer to him as Japanese Alan, or Scottish Alan, or, you know, Forgotten Worlds. You know, he was there. It was great to catch up with Alan. I chatted to him for quite a bit at the event. And, you know, it's a great day out. It's a great day out. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot more laid back, which was nice. I think that was needed. After Revival, it was sort of a bit more subdued, if that makes any sense whatsoever, guys. But it was a really great day, and my God, have I purchased some absolute mental stuff. some pretty big hitting consoles and some money spent with my good friend Cine Steve. Steve was there. He had stalled out. He's thinning out some of his collection. And yeah, I picked up some interesting bits off Steve. Stuff that I've had in my collection before, passed on a few years back, and it's now back in the collection. So yeah, I think that's most people that we met. I spoke to loads and loads of different people, loads of strangers, people I'd never met before, which is always great. It's always great to speak to like-minded people when it comes to this amazing hobby. So without further ado, let's get on to the pickups. Now we'll start with the games. And the first game is what I got off Tutti, and that is a Quantum Fighter. Now, this is not one of my nostalgic NES games. So you're probably thinking, well, why did you get it, Scott? This was on a number of stalls at the London Gamer Market. It really was. And Al kept saying to me that this is one of his nostalgic games, and it's a cracking little game. Tutti done me an absolutely fantastic price on this. It hasn't got a manual, but I'm not fussed about that because it's not part of my nostalgic NES set. I just want to give the game a blast. I promised Al I'd give it a go and let him know what I think of this game. So yeah, first up, we did get a little bit of Nintendo, and that is Quantum Fighter. I just thought I've changed the angle because I thought I'd do a different view, but I can't set the games out or show you what my pickups are. Maybe I'll do a picture at the end, guys, but there's some pretty big things here that I'm not going to be able to showcase in the background anyway, really. So we'll just crack on, shall we? So we're done with Nintendo. We're moving on to SEGA, guys. It's SEGA for a fair while now. The rest of the games are all SEGA. Got to be SEGA. And this first game, off a random stall, I didn't catch the vendors if it was a business or not. It was as we walked in. This guy had some actually really nice stuff and reasonably priced. I had a bit of a haggle with this game because it's a game I've been after for a while. Ultimately, I would have liked it complete. This isn't complete, but it's in really good condition. It's a Master System game, so as you guys know with Master System, it's hard to find a nice, clean cover, which this one has got. And like I said, this can command crazy money on eBay and online. And that game is Rambo First Blood Part 2. Now, I own Rambo 3, which is the only game that was released here in the UK on the Master System. This game is Secret Command, or was it Secret Commando? That was released over here because it lost the Rambo license in the UK. So this is the American game. And as you can see, this is in really nice condition. I don't actually know what the going rate for this game is now. It's been a while. The cartridge has a little bit of wear. I'm not so fussed about that, but it was important for me to get a nice clean cover. So yeah, I paid £20 for that one, guys, which I thought was good. I had to haggle a little bit. I got a little bit knocked off for cash. But yeah, 20 quid paid on that one. I am going to move the Master System. I'm going to focus on the Master System quite a bit, I think, over the coming months. And I want a new home for the Master System. It's hid behind my SEGA wheelchair, which is covered in my plushies at the moment. So I kind of want to get the Master System in this room on a better display, which I'm sure I'll do over the coming weeks, because this is all Master System, guys. These next 3 games were in a box. It was a guy I've purchased off him before, so it must have been at another London Gamer Market, because when I paid with card, it automatically sent me a receipt and he said, you must have purchased off me before. And I said, yeah, possibly, mate, possibly. And he had boxes all set up and they're all different prices. And it was like one box was like £40 each in the items in that box. Then there was one that was like £20 an item. And then there was a box with £10 games. And if you bought 3, you got money knocked off. So these were all out of the £10 box. £10 each. If you bought 3, you got them for 25. So without further ado, the games I got were these. Now, I weren't sure whether I had any of these already, but I thought at the price, it's a great price. If I've got them, I can just put them in the retro realm. So first up, we've got Ms. Pac-Man. Again, this is in really nice condition, guys. And it's all complete. So, Miss Pac-Man. Next up in that deal was Indy. So we've got Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. I know I've got this on the Mega Drive. It's not a great game. I'd imagine it's equally not that great on the Master System. But it's complete. And then finally, Pac-Mania. Bit of a Pac-Man buzz going on. So yeah, and again, this one is a bit ruffled, the manual, but it is all complete. So those three were 25 quid, which I thought was a good deal. The final Master System game I got was off Ed Hunt's. And again, I said to Ed, I don't know if I've got this game. He done me a cracking price. As he always do, he always looks after me. And we've got Galaxy Force. I did have a quick scan, and Ed, it looks like I haven't got this. So this will be going into the Sega wall. And again, it is complete, in really nice condition actually. The manual is really crisp. There is a little bit of dirt on the overlay. But that is glue. That will come off there. So the actual cover is really clean. I checked all that. Absolutely chuffed. Thank you so much for that, Ed. That will be in the Sega wall forevermore. Right, guys, before we get into the deal that I had with Cine Steve, we need to show off these amazing bits of art that I got off Rob. I would travel down with Tootie and Daz. It was his first London gaming market. He said he was having a really good day, which was brilliant. It's good to see him down south. It was good to catch up with you, Fob. Again, I see Fob at Revival, and we had a good old chat. So yeah, Rob done me. I always want to say Fob, but it's Rob. Rob done me a fantastic deal on these guys. He really looked after me. And first up, we've got this awesome arcade art marquee, as you will, and it's all on like a metal, is it metal glass, mirrored glass, shall we say, background. And I just think these are really brilliant. And as soon as I see he had RoboCop, this had to go in the collection. This has got to be in the Sega wall. So yeah, really chuffed to add that one. And then we do have a couple more Sega related items here. And we have got, I really like this one. The Altered Beast marquee there. I really like how these are printed on the mirror. They really look cool. The Sega wall has got a couple already. I was trying to remember with Rob which ones I bought off him. And it was actually Choplifter and Shadow Dancer. So I was nearly right because I kept saying Super Thunderblade. But it weren't. It's Choplifter. So yeah, we've got Altered Beast added to the Sega wall now. And then finally, I can remember being disappointed a few years back. I wanted this one, but Rob sold out of them. And that was this. So finally, it's added to the collection. And that is Outrun. It's got to be done, isn't it, guys? That's got to be added to the collection. Or to the Sega wall. So yeah, really pleased with those. You done me a tremendous deal, Rob. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, mate. And he also gave me a wagon wheel, which I haven't had a wagon wheel in years. That was really nice. Cheers, bruv. But let's move on now to the big items purchased, and we move on to what I picked up off Cine Steve. There is a Sega item, as you will here, or Sega related item. And it's an item that I had a few years ago, but I sold it to a fellow YouTuber because he really wanted to add it into his collection. And I kind of was on the fence whether I wanted to let it go. And then I thought, I don't want to go branch down this avenue in my collecting journey. So I sold it. I kind of had a bit of seller's regret on that because since then, I've actually introduced a lot, especially recently, of this sort of thing back into my collection. So the first thing that caught my eye when speaking to Cine Steve was this. And this is the Mega Drive Megatron. Now, for those of you who followed the channel for years, a few years back, I did purchase this. It's not a cheap item to add to the collection, really. It's quite a pricey item, but it is pretty special. Megatron being one of my favourite Transformers, only bettered by Soundwave. I absolutely love Soundwave, the design of him. But yeah, this is a Megatron Transformer that transforms into the mighty Mega Drive. That is awesome. I'm so pleased to have this back in the collection. I really am, guys. I'm not sure if there's going to be any glare on that. If there is too much glare, I will put in some B-roll, doing some close-ups of this. But that is just fantastic. I'm really pleased to add this back into the Sega wall. Thank you so much, Steve. So now we move on to a big console purchase that I got off Steve. I didn't spot this the first time round when I was speaking to Steve. I put the Megatron aside because we see Steve's kind of really early on. So we wanted to walk around and he said, cool, I'll leave it behind for you, Scott, come back later. When I went back later, I then discovered that he had some other stuff that really interested me. Now, about 5 or 6 years ago, I had quite a big cull in my collection because I was focusing solely on really my Sega at the time because I really wanted to build the Sega wall. I sold up some of the stuff in my collection. I believe I still had a lot of this stuff when Alex Nintendo Arcade Archive came and done a room tour a few years back now. So I want to say it's got to be 4 or 5 years ago. Easy. 5 or 6, maybe. Time just flies. But I decided that anything that was in my collection that had had no attention in a year or more, I moved on to focus solely on my Sega and Spectrum and stuff like that. So I moved on a lot of my Atari. And I didn't really have seller's regret as such, because I've replaced some of that Atari over time. But there's this one console, I missed the box. I really did. I think this is an amazing box. I think this is an amazing looking console. One of my favourites. And that's the big positive of this console, is how it looks and the box art. Apart from that, the library ain't great. But that is the mighty Atari Jaguar 64-bit power in here. Yeah, this is tremendous, guys. To get another box one of these back. In hindsight, I wish I just moved on all the games and kept the console. I'll open this up, and again, I'll put some footage in of me opening this up. So here we go, guys. Here's a closer look at the Atari Jaguar. I love that box. That is just such an amazing box for a console. Really striking. Beautiful. There it is, showcasing some of the games. A lot of nostalgia for this console, I really have. And here we go. Here's the contents. The cardboard tray isn't in too bad a condition. I can remember my original one that I had a few years back. This was pretty bad, but this one's all right. It's got its original baggie. Which we'll put down there, but here is the console. Look at that, guys. The Atari Jaguar. May not have had an amazing library of games or much support, but that is a fantastic looking console. It really is. Got to go down as one of my favourites. I think it's a beautiful design. So yeah, really pleased with that. Like I said, the cardboard's in really good condition. The Marmite pad, you either get on with it or you don't. I've never really had too much of a problem with the Jag pad, really, over the years. We've got the power supply there, and which is awesome, is we've got the RGB SCART cable, which, yeah, that really is a bonus that I haven't got to go out and purchase one of those. So I'm really chuffed with that, guys. There will definitely be a future video on covering this and some of the games, so look out for those. in the future, guys. But yeah, really pleased with that. To go with the Atari Jaguar, he had this, which is the Jaguar 64-bit game drive. So again, it is just like an EverDrive. You've got your SD card that slots in the top there. And Steve said this is absolutely rammed full of games. Not only has it got the Atari Jaguar library in there, it's also got a lot of Atari ST games that have been converted over to the Atari Jaguar. So really pleased to get this. And I'm happy with that. To have the Atari Jaguar and this cartridge, I know I don't need to go down a rabbit hole and start collecting Atari Jaguar games again. Because, wow, they really have leaped up in price. Compared to what they were when I was collecting them years ago, you could buy for £20, £30 more like £80 to £100. So I definitely won't be going down that avenue, but I'm really chuffed to get Atari Jaguar back in the collection, because that's going to be a lot of my focus, I think, is to get the rare consoles that mean something to me. The Atari Jaguar did mean an awful lot to me. I backed that when it first came out because I loved Atari, and it done absolutely terrible. Out of me and my mates at the time, I was in my mid-teens when this launched. A lot of my mates didn't know what the Atari Jaguar was, didn't have one, and it was something different to play, and we all enjoyed playing the Atari Jaguar back then. Tempest 2000, Alien vs Predator, so many games that I can remember back to those days. Even Kasumi Ninja, even though it's so bad it's good. You know, we had a lot of fun with that game. A lot of the games we had lots of fun with, because back then it was kind of that transitional period is where most people still had Amigas, Mega Drives, Super Nintendos. That's what predominantly all my mates had, and the hype was building for the PlayStation and the Sega Saturn. So, you know, it was kind of like that stopgap console, what you thought was going to be next generation, but weren't quite, unfortunately. So yeah, I'm really chuffed to have an Atari Jaguar back in the collection. That leads us now to the final pickup of the day. This was quite comical, actually. I managed to haggle a good price on this in the end. It took a considerable amount of talking to get this deal done. Again, this is quite a big item, so I will show it now, but I might have to do some B-roll with this as well. We'll see how the footage comes out. But yeah, again, a console. This is, again, a very nostalgic console. I've owned this many a times in the past in my collection. Never had it originally back in the day. My brother did. So I never actually had one of these, but we had a lot of fun with this console. And me and my brother played this a ton. So yeah, it's kind of fitting to put this back in the collection. Again, I'm not sure if I'm going to collect all the games. There might be a way that we can do this so I don't have to have another library of games, but I just really wanted this console back into the collection, and that is the Panasonic 3DO FZ1. Now it has to be this model because it's the only model I've ever had. It's the one that's nostalgic to me. Really cool to get this boxed and in pretty good condition. There is some marks down here. I believe that's like glue. That may come off. We'll give that a go. But this is in really nice condition, guys. Just open the top up. Because included in here is, it's got all of its polys. Let's put that down. All of the polys are in there. What I've said is I'll put some B-roll in to show you up close and personal with this. So guys, here's a closer look at the Panasonic 3DO FZ1. The box is in really good condition. It's got all its polys. Now when I owned one of these a few years ago, I didn't have it boxed. I don't think I've ever owned a boxed one. I don't even think my brother's was boxed back in the day. I'm sure he got it second hand. So yeah, it's got its poly in the bottom there, which is great. It's got its top poly, which is really good. It was the condition of this that sold it to me. The negative, or what I was a little bit concerned about, is this is an NTSC one, but I believe these are not region locked. Let me know in comments, guys, if they are, but from what I could, the little research I done at the London Gamer Market on my phone, these are not region locked. This is a nice console as well. I do like the look of the 3DO. Quite a desirable console, even though again another failed system. But yeah, beautiful front loading. Like I said, what I showed, it came with Mega Race. We've got the 2 controllers there. An interesting looking TV lead there. It looks like it's RF. Bit of a weird connection that. We've also got this, which is that like an audio out? I'm not sure. And it came with its original bag for the console. And we have got lots of paperwork here too. So we've got the manual. Another guide there. Warranty cards. There's a lot here. More warranty. More sort of survey stuff. And then this is the proper operating instruction manual. So yeah, loads of paperwork with it. And I thought for the condition, I had to take this home. Yeah, I love FMV games. As those of you that have been watching my channel for many years know that I've got a real soft spot for all the FMV games. I love them. And, you know, they run really well on the 3DO. A lot better than the Mega CD because this was newer technology for the time. I've got the Philips CDI. I now have the 3DO in the collection. Obviously, this is clearly the better console. But again, another failed console, which is so intriguing to me. I'm really liking getting these consoles back in the collection, and it's definitely a focus for me to get the niche and the more obscure collection. For those of you that watched the revival video, I've added a BBC Micro and a Vectrix back into the collection. We now have a Panasonic 3DO FZ1, which I'm really pleased to add back in the collection, and the almighty 64-bit powerhouse Atari Jaguar. That's it for this video, guys. I want to keep it short and sweet. Massive shout out to Al, Ustar Gamer, and what a day. What a tremendous Sunday we had. We got back just in time for the England game, which weren't so tremendous. How the hell did we win that game? But we did. That's all what matters. Until the next time, guys, I'm Sega Zombie. Goodbye.
Sega Zombie. Sega Zombie.